So Keller Williams Ghost Agents. So if you haven't heard, Keller Williams has about 119,000 agents on their roster.
I was shocked by that. In fact, I felt a little bit better about my ghost agents that I have to worry about, which I'll get into from my perspective in a sec.
So let's explain a little bit what ghost agents are. Ghost agents, basically on your roster, are agents that don't sell real estate or maybe have passed away or for whatever reason are not really involved with the company.
And for the benefit of the audience, when he's talking about roster, every agent has to work under a broker, and in fact, even many brokers will be broker associates under a managing broker. And so the Department of Real Estate keeps this roster of the responsible or managing broker and the agents that they're in charge of. And so this is the specific roster or role of agents, of which some agents might be ghost agents that we're referring to.
So Keller Williams came out, and I know for a lot of big companies, and I guess even smaller companies, it's always nice to brag about how many agents you have on your roster, even though many of them don't really sell real estate or not really involved in the industry, just basically you're a placeholder for their license. So Keller Williams announced that they are going to do a ghost agent purge and basically go through their entire roster and get rid of the agents that should not be on that roster. So is that good or is that bad?
Well, again, I'm going to come at it from the perspective of a broker that experiences very similar of the dilemmas as Keller Williams, although not 119,000 agents, some of which are dead. From my perspective, I've got anywhere from 10 to 15 agents, and then in addition to that, broker associates that are working with me at any given time. I've had as much as 80 agents at one time. And real estate's kind of a bit of a revolving door. All brokers are hopeful when they recruit that agent who's just passed their real estate license for the first time about all the different things that they might be able to do and be successful and productive in the business. And so from my perspective, a lot of times I'll see agents who've gone through training but never show up to the office and then wonder why they never have a sale, or they come to the conclusion they're just not cut out for this, but then they keep their license there just in case their relative, decides they want to buy a home. They might work at another job, but this is their side gig, and they tell you that they're gonna close a deal soon and they're gonna get back in the action. In fact, again, this is my personal experience. So that being said, many times when I have some level of communication with an agent, I'll kind of hold out on cutting them from my roster, but I also have to kind of mitigate that with the exposure that I have as a broker and the risk that it increases on my errors and omissions. Because the more agents you have under you, the higher your errors and omissions can be. This is an expensive business. I tend to purge my list a little bit sooner than later, but I also get a little bit of an attachment, so I kind of keep them on a little longer, but I don't necessarily do it for show. Which I guess was a big issue with Keller Williams, just to make it look like there's a larger office there than there really might be.
Well, a lot of big brokers do that. I mean, it comes down to a bragging right and also a way to recruit agents. But I think what Keller Williams is doing is a very smart move, because by them announcing that, hey, we are acknowledging that we do have a lot of ghost agents and we're going to get rid of them, I think they're doing a good step in full transparency, and I think that's something that Keller Williams is really trying to push forward. Now, for me, as far as being a broker, I'm a big fan of hiring fast and also firing fast. And so I think the keeping agents on board as ghost agents simply for the numbers, I think that might be very old school mentality and old school marketing if you want to use those numbers. But in this day and age, we can pull up data, we can see what other agents are selling, and we can identify what actual offices and brokers are really selling as a company. And so we're able to see the production of various brokers and various independent companies. And I think that's just an old school marketing tactic that doesn't really work. And so coming from a broker point of view, you have resources that you have to, you're spending money and time on various resources just simply to keep some people on board. I really think if you just narrow it down, and you know what, in fact, there are some agents that don't sell a lot of real estate, but I think they should be purged by most brokers, right? Because, and I know
they might not know exactly what they're doing and are going to get in trouble some way or another.
Yeah, because All it takes is for one bad transaction to happen, and all of a sudden you've got a big problem as a broker. That's going to cost you more than what it costs you to keep that one agent on board. There's our time. So let's go to the next section.
We're going to wrap that up, and hopefully that was